hello, hello, hello. Good afternoon, good evening, good morning. Somewhere in the world, it's probably morning, right? Good day. Welcome, 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 one and all to Cacoa Tea. I almost want to sing Cacoa Tea. Yes. Welcome, folks. Welcome to Cacoa Tea. Want to say special, special, special good day to every single one of you, wherever you are listening to. Hello, hi, guys. Okay, come on over. Come on down, guys. Come on down, come on down, come on down, come on down. Let me see y'all. Let me see y'all. Good day, good day, good day. Welcome to Cacoa Tea. I am so excited. Tuned in. Yes, I see you. Devansha, welcome. We have folks coming on social media platforms like, oh my God, lots of folks are coming. Yes, come on down, come on down, come on down. Let me see y'all coming on down. Yes, welcome. Hi, Nisha. Hello, hello. Oh my God, it's so good to see all of you, Lily and Keisha, and thank you guys for coming on. Welcome to Cacoa Tea. Today is September the 7th. It is September, and I hope it's going to be a September to remember because, yes, the county of Itassi is on. Of course, as for Aurelie, the county of Itassi. Yes, my darlings, thank you very much for stopping off today's Cacoa Tea. I did tell you guys last week when I was on that the next time you'll see me on would have been September 11th, but I lied. Yes, I lied. God forgive me. I actually, in between that time and a couple days, new guests, new people coming. Big up to my sister Aurelie. Aurelie was like, you need to have Tarina on your show, and I'm like, well, what's so special about Tarina? Girl, let me tell you, I'm gonna correct myself on that one time because Tarina is like my sister. I mean, like we told people actually for the longest while that we were sisters. When people would ask us, especially if we would be in Roseau together, walking together, people would say, hey, who's that girl Tarina? Or they would say, hey, who's that? I would be like, my sister. We just leave it at that. Hi, Julia. Hello, guys. Thank you guys for coming on. I just want to welcome every single one of you on. We have a hot show in store for you. Tarina is actually in the lobby with her specs, looking well ready, and I just want to encourage y'all. If you're just coming on, I like to see flags. So do me a favor and drop your flag and share the live. Share the live. Drop your flag and share the live. That's what it is. Yes, drop your flag and share the live right about now, and let me know where you're tuned in from and listening from New Jersey. Hi, Her Excellency Jennifer Brown. Yes. I see you. We have mommies in the house. We have Nashia McIntyre's in the house. Julia Pioche is in the house. Big up. The flags on them coming true. Dominica take it over. Denise is in the house. Dennis is always there. Top fan, right, Dennis? Tell them I said so. Drop your flag, share the live. Drop your flag and share the live. Of course, I want to remind you guys that this show is also sponsored by Digicel. Better together all the time. And today we have actually two things very special for you guys. Digicel launched or always has their Shake to Win promotion that goes on. But this time for back to school, you get an opportunity to shake to win an Amazon Echo in time for back to school. That's the Digicel. So Shake to Win. Yes, I see them. Bim Massive in the house. Welcome, Bim. I'm not sure what flag that is. Oh gosh. One time. LaShonda. Haiti. I see the Haiti. I know the Haitian flag. I'm not sure about what the other one is. I don't want to say I mess up myself. But I see the Haitian flag, so big up yourself. Wichita Falls is in the house. George is in the house. Your Bahamas. Oh, sorry, Bonjour. She said Bahamas. It is now Bahamas. My bad. You can shake to win an Amazon Echo in time for back to school with Digicel. Don't forget to do that wherever you're locked in. If you're locked in on YouTube, you're locked in on Facebook. That's those of you who are especially in the 767 area code. You get to shake to win for this wonderful Amazon Echo. I actually own an Amazon Echo, and it is so awesome. Like you can set up your lights on it. You can set up so many different things on it. My lights used to be on it. I used to call it and tell it, hey Lexi, turn on the lights, So you can definitely make use of that Amazon Echo to remind you of all the different things that you need to do in your life, especially with back to school. And those of you who are logging on in 767 also, especially if you are on the digital platform and you're on my platform, you get a chance to win a 3-day bundle. That's a 3-day Prime bundle with Digicel. All you have to do is comment below, and so make any comment, and at the end of the comment put hashtag Playgo. So don't just hashtag Playgo like it's crazy. You have to say a comment, put a comment there, you understand, and then hashtag Playgo. And you can do this as many times as you like. 2 people on my platform will get a chance to win a 3-day Prime bundle, and 1 person on the Digicel platform will get a chance to win a 3-day Prime bundle. We got to get this show on this road. We got to get this show. Don't forget always to support my show if you can. Show your support. Patreon if you want to do monthly option. PayPal if you want to do a one-time. I call it a blessing. Bless me with some goodness. Support the show today and donate. Thank you very much for that. Of course, we are going to get ready for the show because it's showtime. It's always showtime. I want to remind you during the show, you can always ask your questions. I encourage folks to ask their questions early o'clock so that I don't miss you. I don't mistake a question. I don't know. There's no uncertainty or anything. So make sure you do that early o'clock. Yes, Godzilla. What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? I see Gail is on, Dominica and Lucia. So Lucia in the house. Big up to y'all. Thank you very much for tuning in. Are you ready for the show? Are you ready for the show? Let me know if you're ready for the show. Let me see your thumbs up that you're ready for the show. You ready for the show? Thumbs up. Let's see those thumbs up if you're ready for the show. I knew Tarina, I think it was the first, when I decided to move back to Dominica, I ran into her through, at the time, that person was a mutual friend of us. And we just clicked, we just vibed, we were just, wow. Like it was love at first sight. We definitely have many, she's doing the heart, she's love at first sight. Yes, we're ready for the show. We were definitely, it was truly amazing meeting someone like her. And I am telling you, like over the years, we've stayed in touch. We've always been in touch with each other. And even when, she was pursuing her studies, her mom, I remember her mom came on the side and tell me, give me her little secret. She think I didn't know her little business. I knew all her business. Her mother was telling me all her business. So when she think I was asking, because when I had her face, you must see her in the back. When she think I was not asking because I just not curious, her mother was coming on this and give me all her little story, all her little breath, all her little. We're gonna get ready, and I'm going to welcome her right about now to the show. So make some noise. I sell out. I'm gonna say I sell out. I'm gonna say I sell out the business. Make some noise and put your thumbs up for Tarina, who's in the house. Hi, Tarina! And I hear you. You hear me? Wait. I hear you. Which one you have me on? Okay, this one. Wrong one. Okay, wrong one. Wrong one.
Yeah, angles. Angles. You understand?
Okay. Shutting up yourself a little bit. You have too much windows open, Papa. I can't keep up.
So much things, today there.
Yes.
I better.
You're looking great. You awesome.
I need to wipe my screen needs to wipe it. Hold on. Better?
That's it. Just Tarina.
Oh, telling my mom every time she take a picture. I mean, wipe the screen, man. Wipe the camera. No, I on big screen. I have to be wiping my camera. But it's okay. Y'all
Shame
know
on
it already. Hot, hot, hot. All my crew in the building, drop some heart. Go ahead
you.
and give
Oh,
Terry some hearts.
God.
Give Terry some hearts. Y'all know the crew.
Yes. Yes. Oh my God, it's good to have you on.
So good to be back in live action with you. What an honor, what a privilege to be here today. Thank you for reaching out to me, my darling. I am so glad we get to chat again.
They're killing my life with hearts, all those hearts. Yes,
I tell you, that's just our culture. Love, love alone.
love alone. Tarina,
Love.
it is indeed. I know you've been out of the limelight, so to speak, but in a different light over the
I
last
mean, a
year. You're in a different light. You're not
yes,
in the limelight, you're in a different kind of light.
I'm
And
gone.
let me tell Alisa, she gonna come and preach for you today. So
Yeah, I'm preaching today.
get
Let me get my.
ready. Your what? Your preaching voice? You put on your preaching voice?
Hold on. Let's go. Ready.
Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. We're so ready for Tarina here, and all the folks are locked in. They're locked in. I want to big up the folks on the Cacoa Tea page. If you're locked in on the
Yes.
Cacoa Tea page, if you're locked in on Tarina Simon Ministries page, Digicel page, Jael Joseph page. This is where the party's at. This is where it's happening. This is where the interview is going to be held. And I want to say a big thank you to you, Tarina, for making the time. And I think it was a divine intervention because I wasn't supposed to be back until September the 11th, but I guess God had another plan for us to be on today, right?
Indeed.
And I am so happy to have you on. I I know a lot of folks, if you're looking in the region, you might be wondering what is so special about this girl? Why is everybody like heartsing? And why does everybody care? Or why does even everybody know anybody want to know who she is? Or even know and or even get to hear her story. But you, if you're in the region, you might remember Tarina as a Digital Rising Star. She was the winner of Digital Rising Star back in 2007, right, Tarina?
2007, Digital Rising Star. 2007, yeah.
Yes, so she mashed them up. She sang a few songs. I was actually going back in the archives and looking at videos of her singing Tina Turner, "What's Love Got to Do,"
Era.
and
You see, I was
did
always about love.
and you did Rupee Give Thanks. You
Yes.
did one, and you did
With I think it was Al Green. Let's get it on.
mhm,
Um, we cannot forget Simply the Best.
yes, yes,
How can I forget Simply the Best? That was
yes,
the jam.
yes,
Hmm.
yes.
The
But
one that broke. Mm-hmm.
definitely, you have been known to be a singer for from the time you came out on the limelight. But we will kind of want to go back to where it all began, because it's a story that continues, and we want to take it from the start. But before we take it from the start, something I always like to do with all of my guests, I like them to interview or introduce themselves as who they'd like to be known as. So if somebody were to say to you, "Who is Tarina Simon?" What would you say?
Tarina Sheena Simon is one who is from a hill of God's grace that hears and obeys. I choose to go by, what my name means, my full name means, because I truly can look back on my life and see that I really did come from God's grace. And I really had to make certain decisions to hear him and obey him to take me to the point which I am at right now. And I'm so grateful for the opportunity to add, to my name, Minister Simon. And so it's a privilege that he would consider me and give me that opportunity to go here out into the world. So I consider myself Tarina Sheena Simon, one who is from the heel of God's grace that hears him and obeys. That's who I am.
What is this? What is this? I know your fans out there, they're definitely enjoying that. Tarina, tell us a little bit about um, your upbringing. Where were you born and raised?
I was born at Princess Margaret Hospital in Goodwill. I was born to one Jennifer Barron, no Tuesday, and Roy Davidson Simon. Um, I was raised by my mother, Jennifer Barron, primarily. She was my primary guardian, and I am so grateful to have been watched over by her. Um, the Bible says, train up a child in the way that they should go, so they should not depart from it. Well, mommy, you did a good job. All of the times where she would tell me, don't say you cannot. I don't want to hear that word. Take it out from your vocabulary. You can do all things through Christ who strengthens you. Truly, I'm seeing the evidence of that foundation in my life today. And so Tarina came from humble beginnings, single parent home. Um, we initially we lived in Hillsborough Street, and then we later moved to Bath Estate for True, Blue. All right, and then we acquired our home in Upper Jimmy. And so my life, transitioned from town, and then I moved out a little bit out of town, and then now we're all the way, in Jimmy right now. And currently I reside in Wichita Falls, Texas. So Tarina Simon, humble beginning, single parent home. Um, you know, I I had a gift. I didn't know I had a gift. My mom spotted that from a very young age, and she gave me that speech I'll never forget. She said, "You're always singing in my head. I tired. I'm tired of hearing you. Go and let people hear you sing. Go and let people hear you sing. Go sing. Use your gift. God give you a gift. You just sing it in my head. Use your and go and bless people's lives. Use your gift and go and let God use you. That's what He put it in you for." And then she gave me this story of the talents in the Bible, and she said, "God gave you a talent. Use the thing before He come and ask you, what did you do with what I gave you? Or before He take it." Of course, a little scare tactic in there, but it was from that moment that I first sang in church. And from there, before that, I would sing in choir because I went to St. Martin Primary School. And then I went over to Goodwill Secondary School, transferred over to Dominica Grammar School. So I didn't got it anymore. um, and I was always, in the choirs there. And then I recall when I sang with Goodwill Secondary School for the national school choir competition.
Mm-hmm.
I joined, and that guy met Kendall of Triple K. He was playing keyboard there, and my cousin Janice was the one who, would always be going to choir practice. So one day I asked my mom, can I go with her to practice? My mom was like, yes, go ahead. And then I remember Miss Charlene. Miss Charlene was the one, when you would come in, you have to sing. She heard me sing and she said, okay, we're doing joyful, joyful. Lord, we adore thee. You're going to take the lead. And I was like, huh? I've never sang on a stage, never done anything. And Charlene, God bless you, was the person who, added to that extra push that my mom gave to me. So I'm really grateful for the women in my life. My mom pushed me, then my cousin at the time, I didn't even know she was my cousin Janice. She, was like, girl, you can sing. I heard you always humming. Come with me to choir practice. And then Charlene pushed me in the forefront. And, thanks to everyone else, who gave me that permission to be there on the stage. And it was at
Wait,
that point.
when when you were placed on stage the first time, what was going through your mind?
My knees were shaking. I just remembered that we are on a mission because Google Secondary School, I think that was the first time we won the trophy. And I remembered, that we have a mission to fulfill. And that was the mindset that I had to engage in. that I have a mission to fulfill, and the ball is in my is going to be the baton is about to be handed over to me, and I have to knock it out the park. And that was all that was on my mind, at that moment, because I was looking at my team members on the choir with me. I was looking at, Miss Charlene, and looking at, Kendall on the keyboard, and everybody, just listening to us sing joyful, joyful together. And then when I burst out, I was nervous, but there was this boldness that just took over me.
You want you
There was this
I feel like I wanted to hear a little bit of it. I always
joyful, joy, Lord, we adore thee. God of glory, Lord of love. Can't remember you.
Oh my God, Tarina, I'm shivering. Let me tell you, my sisters, my mom, all of us, we are Tarina groupies, like heart and soul. My sister loves you. My sister Oriel. Look, I just saw my sister Jarell popped into the chat. What is she saying? She says, "Love me some Tarina. What a talent!" Like folks are coming on and and showing love. Your mom is there. I just want to make sure that you know that she is there. So I want to bring her comments up on the screen so you can see. But she is definitely there. When you spoke about taking care of you and how she did it, and she said, "I tried. Thanks. God bless you, my child." Like she's here with you. A lot of folks. Julia Pioche is they having their own conversation in the chat
Yes,
about time right
this
about now.
nobody speaks. I love it.
And people are excited. Okay, so you did the choir thing, and
Yes.
that's mostly where a lot of young talent gets discovered in in shows and competitions that they perform in. But a lot of
Mhm.
people would probably remember you as one of the youngest, if not the youngest ever. And in addition to that, woman singing calypso. And I remember, and I will tell you, like, even before we met, I remember, hearing calypso music and listening. My father was always a lover of calypso music. We were not allowed to partake in carnival because we were Christians. But
Mhm.
the calypsos would always, my father loved calypsos from Trinidad days, and like the old school calypsos. And I remember hearing you, like in an arena of men. What was that? Take us back to, first of all, what possessed you to want to do calypso?
I wouldn't say possessed, but moved me. I'll go back to Dom Fester.
Mhm.
I don't know if you remember Dom Fester competition. I took part in Dom Fester competition, and I remember my mom, being the pusher that she is. If I say I want to do something, I believe in something, she always backs me up. And she's always been that person to be like, okay, you want to do calypso or you want to do Dom Fester? Let's do it. But it was actually, I believe, if I'm correct, it was Mr. Simeon Joseph, my principal in grammar school at the time, who suggested that we take part. If my memory serves me right, but yes, I do have to give hats off to Simeon Joseph as well.
Simeon is an
Um,
amazing coach.
Amazing! What a man! What a man! Hats off to you, sir. God bless you. And so it was through Dawn Fester. Initially we had tried to get a writer, because my mom was like, okay, there's this competition coming up. I want to take part. My mom is the one who loved calypso. I did not like the thing. I will be very honest. I did not like calypso, not even to save my life. Calypso and reggae, two things. But I grew in love with the art form because I saw the mastery behind it, the beauty of putting compositions together, the discipline that it takes for you to even put a song together and work with a writer. For those of us who use writers, the discipline to learn and to build the vision, the concept. And so it was through Dom Fester I met Tim Duran, and I built that relationship with him. And he wrote me a calypso song, calypso, so calypso actually song. And when I sang there, I won the competition, and everybody was like, "You should go up for calypso. You should go up for calypso. You should try out for the competition." But at the time, I think I was considered too young to compete because you know I was told that I should go in the junior monarch.
Mhm.
But then the following year, I would have qualified at least within age to go up for the calypso competition. And so we approached Tim Durant again, who graced us with his pen, and he wrote us, he wrote us songs. And so from there, I ended up on the big stage. And I always remember Mr. Observer. Observer was one of the ones Tim was writing for as well. And he came on and he helped coach me on, understanding the puns of calypso and knowing when you emphasize certain things. And then I have Ati Mema to thank as well, who would come in and help me on the vocal side because I did experience a little bit of her touch during Star Quest prior to that Star
Mhm.
Quest competition. And so many people influence and create help to formulate this style or to launch me into that arena. But above all, it was you, everyone in Dominica who had seen me compete. They would see me on the road, and people would, I can't remember all faces, but the number of people echoing, "You should go up," was what I responded to. And then, of course, my mommy in the back there, telling me, "You can do it, my daughter. You can do it. I believe you can do it." So she loved Calypso. So it was so, and at 30, 40 years, she enjoyed. And so I stepped out in faith, and I did it because it was something fun. It was new. I was like, okay, I would love to learn. I've never done it before. Of course, it was nerve-wracking being young, the youngest in the crew, a female among so many men, but I was well received. And I'm so grateful for the big brothers that I gained through the art form. I have to shout out Hunter and Sai, all the guys who really put me under their arm and loved on me and encouraged me and clapped for me, you know, when we were out of the stage, when we were off the stage. And so I'm really grateful for my warm receipt.
When what was one of your most memorable songs singing in calypso? Like one of those that really, because you were always known to have a message with everything that you sang. I guess it was somewhat prophetic, where you would always come out
Yeah.
with a message. Where some people would probably throw the confusion. They would
Throw the fear back. You would throw the fear.
tell me a little bit of some of your some of one of the songs that really like resonated with you through your years of calypso.
Um, the first song, I believe I am God to my people. It was good when he played my card on the table. I was blessed. And of course, the
Girl,
pen
you
of
cannot
Tim
stop
Durant.
there, girl. You cannot stop there. You have to. What happened to you now? You cannot stop. The fans look at them on there. You start singing it. You cannot stop. Give us a little
Yes,
more.
something. Yes, I don't even remember Where's Royette? Royette is the person that reminds me of my lyrics. She knows the songs like the back of her hand. But
Yes.
honestly, that first song, commonly known as Elas. Elas. Ella, oh my people, my friend, why are you neglecting me? I love that song because I had an opportunity to stand as a voice for the island of Dominica, to the people of Dominica. And for a change, the terrain, the nature got a chance to have a voice. And I was the one to speak on behalf of our country because we experience a lot of littering, a lot of political divide, a lot of so many things going on. And at that point in time, it was a beckoning of the country for the people to come together. At the end of the day, why are we destroying the land that we have to live in? And so I loved how Tim, put so much of his heart into the lyrics of that song, and I had the privilege to personify it. And yeah, and actually that was my second song. Yeah, that was my second song.
That was your second
And so
song.
Yeah,
I want to
yeah.
big up Tim. I know a lot of folks look up to Tim. Tim is such an amazing. He's not just an amazing writer, and he's also a journalist. So big
Mhm.
up to Tim. You are. We missed him on news. And reading the news for us. We missed that.
No, I love when he would do that little thing with his head, when we
Yes,
read the
I was
news. I love this.
What
Oh
was it?
man.
What was it like working with him as a writer? Because
Oh
because
my God.
in a writer's mind, they know what they want the song to say,
Uh-huh.
right?
Hmm.
And then you are Tarina. You also have your own emotions and that you want to put into the song, and sometimes there can be a disconnect,
Hmm.
where yeah, it's your song, but I kind of want to put my little thing to it. What was it like working with Tim?
Tim allowed me to put my own thing to it. And that is one of the things I love because the woy, yo, can you hear me now? That was all me expressing the I guess the call of Dominica to the people. So he allowed me to have those liberties to express and to create the image of the presentations of the song and to personify. He allowed me, he gave me that liberty. And I would really enjoy when he would bring the songs and then we would sit and he would bring his guitar, and that's how I would initially hear the song. So he would come and sing, so full of energy and passion, and then I would just listen, and then I would take my time, meditate, and say, okay, well, how do you want me to sing this song? And I would just go. I would just go because I would always internalize what it is that I'm about to sing.
Mhm.
What do I want the people to feel and to know from these songs outside of just the words? So in other words, I had to put action to the words that were being, given to me and entrusted in me to release. And I am so grateful that Tim gave me that liberty, that artistic liberty to be an expression to the words that, God would have put in his heart to give over to me. And he trusted me with the battle. He handed it over to me and he let me, you know, make it what it was in the end. And I really appreciate him for that liberty. I really do appreciate it. It was where I built the character of Tarina, you know. And then according to what it's Queen Tarina. My God, the first man to call me queen, even before
Yeah,
I had a crown, was Wadix.
Sakai
And
mad.
so, let me tell you, Lord. And
Ah,
so working with him, it was really easy. It was an easy because he has that real mellow personality and just real laid back. But you saw him come alive when he would present the song. You would see him come alive and he was so meticulous. He wanted it to be perfect, before he would give it to you. And then when he handed it over, he entrusted you to finish it. So he was a good rally runner. He would hand over the baton and then he would allow you to finish the race.
sorry that somebody else is on. Your dad is on.
Who's that?
Your
Oh,
dad is on.
hey.
Say hi. Um,
Okay. Ah, you on me? Good job.
okay,
Love
so
that.
so you would get on stage, and I think I can probably almost without a shadow of a doubt say that you opened the door for a lot more women to be comfortable getting into the calypso arena, because you were, for one, you were young. You were very young, and I remember you being, in the top five, and you're like this little girl on stage because you're not exactly tall, right? And
Proud.
5'3", yeah, and 5'2 3/4".
Yeah, you shorter than me.
Yes, just a little
But
bit.
then,
But I recall, that you kind of opened the doors for a lot of women to feel that it was okay to get into calypso, and more over the years. we've seen quite a number of women. Like at one time we had a lot of women, doing calypso, and you kind of gave us the confidence. How did you feel, being the only woman on stage, when you had to compete?
At that time, I didn't even consider that. I didn't think, I don't know, for some reason, I didn't see myself, I didn't consider the pressure, I guess, because like I said, I came in because I wanted to learn. I was having fun. I was, I had tunnel vision. So it's like, I was just like, I want to learn this thing. I want to master it. I would study the art form, study persons or get old tapes, study other countries, and how they present it. So to me at that time, it wasn't really, I wouldn't even say that I was in competition with anyone. If I would be so, bold to say that. I don't think I was competing because my mom had already conditioned me with the mindset that, hey, you're doing this because you love this. Win or lose, either way, we can say we did it. And that was always something my mom always told me. Don't go in there and try to lose your confidence or lose yourself, or just go out there and just do it. And so for me, I didn't even feel like I was competing. Initially, it was just like, okay, I get to do this. This is fun, because again, I'm young. I'm like, what, 17 or something like, yeah, because yeah, 17. So I don't know. I guess I was naive. So to me, I was just like, let's just do this. Let's have fun. There were pressures, don't get me wrong. But for me, the pressures were more of perfecting the craft and understanding it and doing honor to it. And all of the women and the men who had gone ahead of me, I wanted to make sure that I had done well and brought a level of excellence to the art form that was already set, and take it a little bit further if I could. And so for me, I don't know, I wasn't really considering my gender at the time, if I have to be honest. But when person mentioned it, I'm like, oh yeah, okay, I didn't realize how great or how big it was at the time walking through. Now, in retrospect, you're looking back, I'm like, wow, what an honor.
Yeah, there were also a lot of controversies around calypso, and you were, I guess, in the front seat of a lot of it, in the sense of you were seeing it happen unfold. I remember one controversy was about there was a whole voodoo thing going on. There was a whole
Basi,
voodoo thing.
Basi gonna make a whole the next year. But of course, I mean, what's the question on this section? Because again, it's hearsay. Who knows?
So I want to get a sense of what was going on through your mind as a, because technically you were still a young person, and hearing these
Mhm.
things going on within an organization that you're technically part of. What was going through your mind? How were you feeling?
I wouldn't say the organization, but I'll say, everybody has their motive as to why they want the crown. And of course, you have something like $27,000 or at stake. Money, as the Bible says, is the heart of all, is the root of all evil. And so sometimes you find persons being driven for whatever their reasons are. Again, I have no evidence, I have no proof. I can't speak other than Basi's song. So maybe we could call Basi to explain to us what it is he saw or what it is he knows that we don't know. But
No,
again,
because Tarina, why I bring this up is, you were performing, and as far as people said, I recall it very well. And Royet just came in and reminded us, Royet is there, and I remember you
eh,
hearing you singing it at tents, and you knew your song, and then they were waiting for the second verse, and the first you sang the first verse again. What happened there?
I'm telling you, like honestly, from my perspective, because again, it's not like at that point I was no longer an amateur because I had already gone through my first year of competition, and we have our what is tent
Tents, yes.
sending everything. So you do that on a weekly basis, like literally every week, like clockwork on a Wednesday night, Stardom 10th. I was with Stardom 10th at the time. It's something you sing, it's a song you sing throughout the entire season for almost like what months, because the Calypso season is
For six to
about
7 weeks.
right. So just envision that you 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 singing this song and you singing this song over and over again. Which song was it though? Oh, I'm trying to remember this song. Right.
Right?
I need my assistant, my dearest assistant. But outside of the song, I just recall I'm on stage, and if even when I look back at the replay, I was enacting every verse as it was done.
Lifeline. My life is
Right.
taking a
Mm-hmm.
turn. Sing the song for me.
Throw a lifeline to me, whatever. Yeah. So
Yes.
I remember I was on the stage and I'm enacting it, like each verse, because each verse had a part of it that had to be enacted. So my physical body was manifesting the action of um of the presentation that was planned, but I was literally totally unaware of what was happening or coming out of my mouth. And it was only when I stepped backstage, I remember it Val who hugged me and he said, it's okay, next time. So I was like, what are you talking about? I was totally, I was totally like, what is he talking about? And I remember it was my mom, she ran up to me and she said, you don't know what happened? I told her, no, what happened? She said, my daughter, my child, you don't know what happened? I told her, no, mommy, what happened? I sang the song. Because I remember when I was walking up the stage, I remember looking at Peter, the pianist, and he was like, man, like, and I was wondering, why was everyone just standing there? So you are the only person getting this interview. No one has ever spoken to me about this. So from my perspective, I'm like, I don't understand. I mean, I sang the song in my mind. I know I sang the song, but for some reason, and I am so sorry to all of those who were rooting and we were expecting to go home with the crown that night. I really apologize to everyone who was disappointed that night. I can probably say maybe amateur blues. I don't know. But at the end of the day, I just recall going backstage and talking to my team after mom told me what happened. And I was like, you joking? I was like, what? I said, no. I told her no. And then she was like, yeah, that's what happened. And she said, it's okay. And I said, okay, well, I mean, if that's what happened, what can I do? At this point, I have a team of almost like 15 people that was there with me because we had, that second song to go sing because it was just the first round. And I had to go encourage them. So in that moment, I didn't have time to even think or process anything. I just recall, going backstage and just talking to the team and apologizing to them and say, guys, I blew it. I'm so sorry. We had practiced for a long time and put our presentation together and everything, and I would work with some of the sister singers. I love my sister singers, so I just recall I went backstage and I told them, I am so sorry. I blew it. I took full responsibility, as a leader should, because I was leading them and they're here supporting what it is we are here to do for the night. And I told them, but guess what? We have another round to go. Let us go out there and ensure we give our best. Just go enjoy yourself. At this point, we know we're not gonna get the crown. And again, I have to thank the wise words of my mother. Had my mom not prepared me, I would have probably been shattered because she told me it's a competition, but it's not your life. Ensure you go in there, win, lose, or draw, whatever it is, just give your best. And at that point in time, if it wasn't that mindset that I had, though I was very young, I probably would not have gone out to do the second round. Probably if I was a prideful person, I wouldn't even bother. I would just say, okay, well,
Look, Riot is telling you your second song. She's making sure you know.
the second song was the bond anyway. Yes, because she was there. She was there, yeah. So we went out and we just at that point, Jael, what can you do now? The thing already happened. It already happened. And it's really God's grace that kept me because That's in front of thousands of people. And at such a tender age, for you to process that, man, listen, it could only be God. That was
Well,
public.
apparently Bassi knew what was going on because he sang
But
about it.
no, explain to me. I asked you need to answer some questions, but all jokes aside, it's part of the performing art. You go
Mhm.
out there expecting to give 150%, and the night that you're anticipating that your best foot will step out, you step out with 2%. And you have
Mhm.
to go out there. The show continues because again it's a competition. And I know if it's one thing, even if on that night I didn't get to sing the song, but the message had already been passed. The message of the song had already been passed.
You want to give us a
So
little
I was
taste? A little taste.
like, I can't remember those songs. And I really didn't even say let me prepare. Honestly, I can't even remember the song. No more. Right, go ahead and put the lyrics. Let me sing it. But honestly, no, I don't. I genuinely don't remember the songs. And it's not because I don't like the songs or anything. I love the songs, but I'm not there anymore. I think my assignment of that season was to wake up our people to the reality that we need to, one, be united in order for us to overcome anything. We need to be in one mind. We need to love each other and no longer seek after hurting each other, because almost all of my songs, that was their position.
Mm-hmm.
And it was about united as a people. For example, when my mom wrote that song about the endangered species, about the
Yeah.
young men in an endangered species in Dominica, we were just having young men killing young men just dying tragically. It was a cry for us to wake up as a people. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Like we have work to do. We have to pray. Like it was just me beckoning Dominica to wake up. So
You
on
remember?
that night,
You
even
remember endangered species?
if
I believe you remember in it, and you're just playing part. She playing part, Roy. She wanted to send some lyrics for her, right? Put down the lyrics in the chat, Roy, so she can sing it for
I'm
some of
all
us. Somebody just said
caught.
that Sarah Robinson just said, Royette, I want to hear her sing. Put the lyrics in the
Heavy
chat.
pressure on you.
Big up my cousin Royette. Royette, let me tell you, Royette, when Royette did Q Talented, she
My
probably
God,
sang every song that you sang, like she really
Roy
loved.
knows, and that's one of the things I admire about her. Her heart. She loves something, she pursues it. And Roy would remember every lyric, like not just my song, everybody's
Everybody,
song. So listen. So I'm so grateful for. I just want to shout you out, Roy, one time. I love
yes,
you. Thank you for being one of those who supported me fearlessly, like with all of your heart, unbiasedly.
yes.
I really want to put.
Big
But
up,
yeah,
Royette. Okay, so I want us to jump into Digital Rising Star. And so you're getting you slightly got out of the Calypso arena for a moment, or briefly,
and
and
it was that same.
yes, you decided to pursue a different genre, because I mean, with Digital Rising Star there were so many different genres that had to be explored, and you went out there and you just blew Dominicans away. Like, well, I should say you blew all the other countries away because you emerged, you emerged the winner. Why did you,
I
first
think
of
so.
all, why did you get into that competition? What were your expectations?
I remember after after 2007, because that was the year I repeated the verse in the
Mhm.
Calypso arena. So it was earlier in the year, and that competition was happening later on in the year. And of
Mhm.
course, even if I had that mindset, of course I'm disappointed because I'm like, man, all my fans, were rooting, and they were like, even if at least a little bit Tarina away. So at that point, I'm just like, let me just take a break. Let me recuperate. Let me try and strategize what my next move is gonna be. And then it was my best friend at that time, Josette Lapi, who told me about the competition. And she was like, see, I know you say you want to take a break. I know you say you want to whatever, but they didn't let me. And that's why who is in your corner matters. They didn't let me. I remember she was like, do if you not do it for nobody else, do it for
Good
me.
for
You know when
That's only like
you
her. That's only like Josette.
he said, you know, this thing it heals my heart. You know,
Like Josette.
look,
Josette is a piece of work, you know. When I get her.
I, that one there. But I'm so grateful because it was three people. It was she, my other really good friend, Anthony Dyer. We know him affectionately as Tony, and my mom. These three people who knew how disappointed I was, you know, that I didn't do well for everyone and whatever, even if I had to just still move past it. But they knew my internal conversation. They knew the behind the scenes. And they were the three people who said to me, no, you can't give up. You can't stop. If you're thinking of giving up, you're not allowed to. Basically, they didn't allow me to stop. And it was at that point, you know, Josette said, at least do it for me. And then my mom was like, do it for me. And then Tony was like, see, you know, you know. Everyone was like, okay, do it for me. And I was like, but I don't want to do it. And then I sat and I said, I'm not going to allow disappointment to stop me from doing what I love. And so I went. I didn't pre-reg. I think you could pre-register or something like that. And I just showed up that day. I think I didn't even go prepared or anything. I just showed up, you know, at What Young and auditioned there and there on the spot. And I just remember the judges that were there at the time. They did this. They looked at each other because I think I registered like maybe 3 or 4 before the last. Like that's how much I was like dragging my feet 3 or 4 before the last. And when I went in, you know, I just sang, it was Alicia Keys. Some people want to know. I think it was, yeah, that song. I think it was that song. And that was it.
Well, guess what?
Inside.
Tarina, look at what just happened. So I give you the song. So everybody,
Royal,
I
pick
giving
up
you the full,
yourself
I
one time,
giving you the
but
full
it's
screen.
not there is something.
No, it have more. It have more. It come in. It come in. I can read it
I
down.
said you should know songs.
Huh?
She knows songs like
She knows the song. Are you seeing the full song from what she wrote?
I do find it in the comments.
Is she going to sing? By all means, Tarina has to do a little song. And Roy read the song for her and she put it she put it in the chat. Right.
See? It's find
Huh?
it in the chat. Let me go on. I was looking for it
Right.
on
Right here on my screen, but I cannot scroll down. Let me see if I
yeah, that's
can
the only
side.
okay, so everybody have to sing along.
Let's see. No, I can't get it on this side either. I'm going to find it and we want to hear. Are you seeing it?
I seen it on your end on the screen there. But on my end, would I see it on my end as well?
Yes,
And
it's
she
in.
tell me WhatsApp me, you know. Think she joking? And she don't know what
Ah!
for the WhatsApp. I'm have it wait. I'm waiting. But you know, yeah. And trust me, she typing it. She is typing people. Today's honorary member of this conversation is Royet Laura. Probably probably it's not on my in my section. It could be on your in your chat.
Okay, let's see.
Is it in your chat?
I'm trying to find where it is.
Like I cannot even see.
I think it's in. I think where I'm not sure where digital where it is looking at it. She might be looking at it on digital platform because it's saying
Oh, oh, hands on. Okay, I see. I see.
yes.
All right, fancy thing. But anyway, I really cannot remember the lyrics, no? But I'll sing what you have on the screen. Just for the sake of the people, just to remind you all. Again, I want you all to not just focus on. It's not about me. It's really about what God wants to say to you people. So many people were mourning. Put the thing up, now, Jael.
I waiting for
Mm-hmm.
her. I was hoping her was gonna send that to me. Hold on.
She
Let's
going
see.
and send it on WhatsApp. Yeah, I can see that one. I can see that one. I just cannot see the two things.
You seen
Yeah,
it? You
yeah.
seen it?
On your screen, yes. Put it back up.
There we go.
You know, this is our family. We're having a ball of a time together.
You there alone?
Mm-mm. Okay, I'm ready.
Take it away when you're ready. Take it away.
I'll play the playback if I can find it. Man, that my computer crashed. I think I lost all my playback. Well, this one goes out to all of the all of the mothers and fathers who have lost children, you know, throughout the years. I just want to encourage you all with this song. Right, I see waiting for the WhatsApp, eh? A community mourn the loss of one only son, a bright and promising youngster, victim of a senseless murder. What could have gone wrong that you had to hack him down? Couldn't you have talked it over instead of using a dagger? Now there is pain, there is grief, there is sorrow. Another young man ain't gonna see the sunrise tomorrow. But in the flower of the youth, we sing their requiem, grandparents burying their grandchildren. Soon, just as the crop on the Cicero, young man will be an endangered species too. Another mother born at another funeral, another one down, another young man gone, another mother cries, 'cause another son died, another one down, another young man's gone. He was a son, a father, and a brother. He's left to mourn a mother, sister, and lover. Now there is pain, there is grief, there is sorrow. Another young man ain't gonna see sunlight tomorrow. I just repeating for you.
That's good. That is great. She finished. We were talking about
Well,
the let me tell you
that's
the
written
chat
by
is
my
going.
mom, and we had Ghost help us with putting it together for the sake of flow and all of these other things. But yeah, it was my mommy who wrote this one.
Wow. Wow. Okay, so we spoke a little bit about Digital Rising Star and how they were absolutely blown away when you first sang. I think you mentioned it was Alicia Keys, at the audition.
Hmm.
Tell us a little bit about the rest, of the competition and how you managed to make it on that big stage and really compete. And we know that it was not just all you because Dominica really rallied around you, eh?
Not
Like,
no.
like, like seriously. So it was not just you, but how did you feel,
Yeah,
you know, going through that competition, being on stage and winning? You know, people are messaging me left, right, and center. People are messaging me on WhatsApp. Oh my God, we've missed Tarina. Like people are so emotional. You know, like seeing you on here, you know, and I mean, there's a difference between just having you on a show, but we're really exploring your singing career, because now you're doing a different type of singing, and we're gonna get to that in a little while. But
get to it.
we have to get to what got you to that place. Let's talk a little bit about, you know, performing at Digital Rising Star.
Well, from one big stage to a bigger stage. And again, to me, at that point, I'm a humble little girl. At this point, I'm a very humble little girl, prayerful, in love with God. And I would always ask him, okay, what do we do for this song? How do we prepare for this song? Because all of the presentations like we would do for Calypso on stage and stuff, it would be, myself and some of the other team members that we had working with us, would pitch ideas and we would make it come to life. So coming from that experience and then going up to another platform, it was nerve wracking because at the time I was in nursing school, and I was also I was also realizing how vigorous it would be as you moved along.
Hmm.
Because initially, you would do the interview locally, and then of the people picked from Dominica, because it wasn't just me, there were others who were picked from Dominica, and so we would have to travel to Barbados bi-weekly. Then it became weekly, because as you kept going up and up and up in the selection process, I had to travel every week. And sometimes I would get stuck. Your flight's supposed to land at a certain time, and I would get stuck in certain countries, but I have class in the morning, because you would have to leave. I think it was the Thursday night we would record the Friday, so we would record a week ahead. And so for me, it was very taxing because I would have to travel. Um, and then thankfully, my mom would travel with me. And later on, they made allowance for her to, keep coming with me. Because again, I'm young, and I'm so grateful that she was always able to be present in that regard. So I wasn't necessarily just out there by myself. I had my man, my momager with me, and it's not sending lyrics too. I No, she sent me full way past. Okay, so I had my momager with me for most of my travel, and she would really help, cushion the process, because I would have that, voice to keep me going and to cheer me on. And of course, just seeing how the Dominican public, like not just even the diaspora, Dominicans all over the world, China, people that couldn't text would send money to their people to text.
I
Like it was
remember, I remember people would send money in people's account on people's
yeah,
phone to just text for Tarina.
people would sit down like all day texting. And so for me, it blew my mind away that, a little girl like me, even if, yes, okay, I had, some exposure with Calypso and previous competitions, but to see that, when Dominicans make up their mind about something, that's it. That's it. And yes, I went out there, but it was on the votes of the people. Because from that point, once I got selected into the process, it was based on the vote of the people. It was based on the voice of the people, and the people spoke. And it humbled me even more, that wow, that people would pick me to represent them in such an auspicious occasion. You know, at such a time as that. And it humbled me a lot. I prayed a lot throughout the process. A lot of prayer, because I'm like, God, I don't even know what songs to sing next. Because you don't get help. You just get a theme, and then you on the back end you get a theme, and then you have to pick your song. So to pick the right song every week, I mean, it had to be divine intervention. It had to be divine intervention. There were times when my mom would be like, I think you should sing this song. And I remember when I sang Simply the Best, you see how beautiful it was looking on the front. I cried. I cried because at that time I wasn't vocally aware of my ability. And I'm like, God, I didn't know you could change key and all those things. And I remember Josetta again. We went to Portsmouth because I wanted to create the outfit that Tina had on. And we went to Portsmouth, and I got a seamstress to fix up the dress for me. And then it was a dress Joseph gave me actually. And we fixed it up with the tassels on there. And then we went to Portsmouth, and I bought the shoes that I wore because I wanted the exact shoe or something close. And I remember we were standing up waiting for a bus. And people don't know these things, the behind the scenes, a lot, like constantly, because you have a limited space to learn a song, memorize it, master it, create a vision for it, and then perform it. And even when we got to Barbados, we literally got there. You get to go right away. You have to go practice. You have to go work with the musician that's there to arrange the music. I'm very talented musician, very skilled musician. Literally sit with him, boom, 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 boom. That's when I realized, oh, I could change my key. And then I remember she told me, you can sing the song. My mom told me, you can sing the song. I cried because I couldn't hit the note. There was a particular note. I couldn't hit the thing. And I practiced and practiced literally rigorously every day. I still have my studies. I still have to go to school. And I still have to make that time to practice and practice. So it took a lot of discipline for me to actually be intentional, to practice, to perfect what it is, and listen and re-listen and study that particular song performed through several persons, and pick, okay, and develop what it is that I was going to present. So on the back end, there was a lot of work, sleepless night, a lot of work. My mom had to deal with me singing in her head, like literally no 24/7, because I wanted to get it right every week. And I think probably because I had experienced that disappointment prior to, it
Mhm.
drove me, because now I got wins. I felt help. I felt help. I felt my help on the inside. I felt God help me on the inside because I would ask Him to help me. And so traveling every week, sleepless nights, still have to study, you have to do your exams, coming back late, missing your first class on a Monday, and having to write letters to be excused from class just for the formality sake. But of course, the whole nation is aware, and I would have received grace from from my instructors and from the institution of the nursing school at the time. But listen to me, when I tell you work, hard work, and I'm saying this so that the viewing public can honor what it is that persons go out there to present to you. At whatever contribution level it takes a lot of work. Like I had to print lyrics, walk around. Like I would be walking around with my paper in my hand, learning my lyrics, because back then the
That
phone and
phone.
whatever I had my mom's office, and print out lyrics and walking with my lyrics and practicing and making notes and visualizing in my head, because again, you're not yet on the stage. So I'm not even there. I have to visualize what I'm going to do when I get there. And I would love to pre-plan ahead of time. So I would always have my vision. And then when I get out there, it's just showtime, eh? Showtime. Showtime. And I got that opportunity to represent not just my country, but my mom, my friends, those who intimately love me. I got to represent God, because at the end of the day, you know, It was he who gave me this strength because I could not do it on my own. I would have said no.
Mhm.
But I thought there are people who love me. There are people who probably want to continue to hear from me. There is purpose for this mission. Yes, there was a price. Honestly, yes, there was a price, but that wasn't it for me. It wasn't it for me. Like honest, like even when I was singing Callisto, if it was for the money, I would probably still be trying to endeavor towards it. But I
Uh-huh.
realized that I had fulfilled my assignment, and it's okay to sit down.
We're talking
It's
about
okay.
we're talking about the motorcade that happened when you won because people
I
went
don't see I of
wild.
that. That blew
I
my mind.
I was in Canada and I remember, my sisters and my mom, really telling me about, I mean, I followed it from a distance. We'd get excerpts of the competition, and my mom and my sisters always try to keep me in the loop in whatever was going on in Dominica, because I remember when that guy that sang Coco Coco Miguash came out, I'm like Suipiti Meka Kaigwo, I always knew these songs, and people always wonder how you not in Dominica, and all these things, because my family, who I remain very close with, would always tell me, and I remember, my sisters rallying with you. My mom was probably your ultimate fan next to Roy. and and I remember, and Roy is talking about, the motorcade, that happened, when you won, and how did you feel about, how your countrymen kind of like really, they represented you, they supported you, you represented for them, and you won.
When West Indies would play and win,
Mhm.
and everybody would gather. Like I used to be one of those gathering and celebrating, and now to be on the opposite side, to be on the opposite side of things. First of all, it was during a political season. During political season, it was an election year. All right, and the, our people are very passionate. When we pick a side, we pick a side. All right, and to see the mystery of all Dominicans, no matter what political party they supported, everyone put down their flag and put up a white flag and say we put up our green flag actually and say we are one. And I remember this little girl. Somebody had written a song about the little girl bring the whole country together. I think it was maybe was it Chester?
Chess, chess, daddy chess.
Yeah, Daddy Chess wrote this song, about this little girl brought the whole country together. And I'm like, well, it's the small axe, sometimes I have to cut down big trees. And so it was just so humbling to me. I remember when I came from the airport, I know, people like chemo and I insisted I wanted chemo to pick me up. Because listen, supporter chemo. Chemo put his whole business on the front for Tarina and really supported Mr. Nassif. Oh, may his soul rest in peace. Mr. Nassif. Oh, that man just took me under his wing and supported me, helped with my costumes, and oh my God, so many wonderful sponsors and so many people who would help silently and wanted to remain that way, and I'll keep it that way. They would support financially and help, with costumes because again, I would fund all these things by myself. And then here we go, coming back home. And I'm like, okay, I know I'm coming back home, and everybody was blah blah blah. And I heard, they have a motor. I think, okay, it's a little motorcade, nothing small. JL, the airport was full of people. I had never seen something like that in my life. And I'm like, I just remember looking up, and I hadn't slept around that time for a while. And I remember looking up and just saying, God, it can only be you because I am nobody. I'm the little girl. And they rightly said it. I was his little girl, and he was using me mightily at that time to bring our people together, to bring us in one mind to fulfill something. So it showed us that if we make up our mind to do something, We can do it. No matter the size of the obstacle, we can overcome it. And we've seen it in stuff like Maria, and we recovered so well in instances like that. But at that time, it really, that was where, if I was humble, I went all the way down. I humbled myself to see that God would bring our people that are so strong-minded and separated at a peak political season together, and nobody didn't feel no way to stand up next to, because we get passionate about things. So for me, it was very humbling. I remember taking a moment because they wanted to do an interview when I came in, and I said, no, I need to stop and I need to give God thanks, because in the end, yes, I won, but I believe He has the biggest victory here. Whatever assignment He wanted to fulfill of bringing Dominica together at this time, He did it. I was just the vessel that He used. And I remember saying that to the reporters, and I was just like, just give me a moment. I need to thank God. And I paused just to thank Him and just to tell Him, thank you, Daddy, for using me in a way that I could not have been used. Because when God favors you, I guess, and He has an assignment for you to do, it will get done if you submit to Him. And I submitted to Him. I prayed. I asked Him, help me. I don't know why you putting me on this journey, but I know, let's go. We're doing this. If it's for the country, if it's for the people, let's do this. And Jael, we did it. The mission was accomplished. It was fulfilled. People, like literally something, a drive that would take us maybe an hour, took us maybe 5 hours to get to Roseau.
And
By the time we got to Roseau, I landed probably around like maybe 3, 4 p.m., somewhere around there. And by the time we got to Roseau, it was after 10, 11 in the night. And most people were like, okay, let's just keep going. And I was like, no, I did not have voice by the time I got to Roseau, but I said, no, we have to stop in every village as long as there are people, children, old people, people who are on wheelchair. Everybody come out of their home to see the little girl. And I would stop in each village and sing for them, simply the best. I would stop. Why?
ooh, I
Not
couldn't
not not because of me, but because wow, God moved their heart and they responded. So I have, even if it's the last little bit I have, let me give it. I gave all. I gave it all. I remember when we got to Roseau, I wasn't expecting that. Then here comes Jael Joseph, mayor of Roseau, handing me the keys to the city. I said, Jesus, guys, and I recall we were on the bridge entering Roseau. I can't remember the name of the bridge. Lord help me. We
Lee
were on
Black,
that bridge,
Black.
Roseau, because the name changed. Back then, it was another name. We were on that bridge, and I remember stopping. I told him to stop. I need to take this in. And I remember looking to the back, looking to the front, and then they presented the keys to the city to me. And I just held it up and I said, God, this city is in your hand. I just remember, and that was my prayer. No one heard it. No one knew why I lifted it up. Everybody probably thought, okay, by holding it up, yeah, I have keys to the city. No, I held it up and I said, God, this city, this country is in your hand. You have given me the keys and I'm giving it back to you. Do as you will with this country. And then we went to Bayfront. Bayfront is an entire stretch. The whole thing full of people. People travel all over Dominica to see this little girl. You see, to some of the big men, they use it as an insult because the little girl, right? But I accepted it because I'm a little girl. I was a little girl. I was a child. At that time, I was a baby in
Wow.
the arena. First timer to this thing. But God used me mightily to bring our people together. And I don't know what the purpose is for. He alone knows his agenda. But mission accomplished. Mission accomplished. And I'm so
Tarina,
grateful
Tarina,
to everybody. Everybody, thank you for what you did for yourself and for God and for what He had assigned for that period of my life.
you you have such an amazing story, and I know people are crying. I almost broke them for a second, like for a split
I
second. Eyes get why? Let me tell you, you had me here for a second. Yeah, it's not easy to make me cry.
was surreal. It was surreal, honestly. It was surreal. Like to look out and to see so many people. Every village, people drove from all over. I remember some of my family from Delhi drove across because we were not passing through the Delhi's road. They drove from their homes, left their homes to come to gather. What a time. What
I
a
want
time.
you spoke during that time. You were actually in nursing school. What
Mhm.
happened after that? Oh, let's take us from nursing school. What were the decisions after winning this big contest while in nursing school? What happened to Tarina after that?
Well, Tarina, ultimately, Tarina wanted to complete nursing, but Tarina did not complete nursing. And it was because of, what happened around that time. For the sake of, integrity and all of these things, I won't discuss the details, but,
Mhm.
I was moved to make a decision to leave the program. Um, and thereafter, I sought employment, and then I was employed at the Dominica AFC and Ports Authority, where I was employed as a junior administrative clerk, entry as a junior administrative clerk, working directly with the human resource manager and the CEO. And so I worked with them for about 3 years, and it was a really a character building time. I think probably as a young person, I would say there were the last 2 years of me working there were what I call my 2 years of rebellion. Boy, God, only you could do it. Were my 2 years of rebellion. I'm not a saint. It was at that point, I realized, well, live life. I thought I was living life. Um, and I decided it was at that point I wanted to pursue my scholarship, which I obtained before I won the competition. At that time, Prime Minister Skerrit and Minister of Education at the time, um, Vince Henderson, they invited me to, because it was World Creole Music Festival season. So they invited me to the Prime Minister's booth, my mom and myself. And they met with me, and they said, what you're doing for the country. I'll never forget, it was an honest conversation. And I think I can discuss it. And they said, what you're doing for the country, it's amazing. I don't think it's ever been done. And we want to give you an opportunity to pursue education. And we would desire to grant you a scholarship. And I just remembered, like, when they walked away, after the discussion, thanking them and so forth. They walked away. I stayed and I stood over the balcony for a moment and just said, God, I don't deserve this. I never had any vision or any plan of going off to college, or anything like that. And man, it wasn't part of the package for the competition, but the leader of the country felt, why not, help this young person who is doing so much for the country at such a critical time? Why not give her an award of, a full scholarship? And it was that scholarship from there, so from nursing school, I got my job. I worked with Dasper for 3 years. And then it was then I decided that it's time. It's time for me to do something with that scholarship and to, you know, go somewhere to get an education and to further myself.
So you ultimately left Dominica and you went to the States to study.
Mhm.
And you started one degree, you completed, and then you decided because
Mhm.
right now, Taryn
This is
Simon,
more fun, more fun.
you know, Tarina, Tarina Simon decides. that she wants to kind of shift her path a little bit, or the path that she had for herself, and walk another path? When did that happen?
There were many shifts for Tarina Simon. Tarina went from Calypsonian to, regional competition to, student to employee. And then from employee, I decided to pursue that education. And even there, by God's grace, I completed my undergrad degree. I'm so grateful. Um, I was able to complete that with the help of government of Dominica. And then there's this thing called, optional practical training where you can opt to stay and get some experience in your field. I opted to stay because I wanted to get experience in my field. Again, all with the intention, to master what I had learned
Mhm.
and of use. And so it was after that I was about to actually move out of where I'm currently located in 2016. And I can't really say that Tarina decided. I didn't have a boy. I can't say Tarina decided, but Tarina realized that there is more to life for her. And that it's almost like I felt like I had reached my cap and I didn't know what else to do. Okay, you have the degree. Okay, you have the trophy. Okay, you have all these titles. Okay, you had your 2 years of rebellion. Okay, you've tried so many things. And then in 2016, I was about, a friend of mine, we had agreed we were gonna move off to Austin, which was near a nearby town from where I live, city from where I live. Plans made, bags packed, ready to go, and I felt like I couldn't leave. I cried because I had to disappoint this one friend of mine. That we had planned, we were gonna go. We had gone ahead and looked at apartments and everything, girl. Plans were in place. My plans were in place, but God had different plans. I felt this desire that, okay, I'm heading off to do this, but I feel like there's more to life. What am I doing? Okay, I'm gonna work and then get a job and then what? I want more I want more purpose. There's more to life. I felt empty, you know. I had lived a life of rebellion for a little while. And in one of my stories on my page in 2012, most persons may not know that or be aware. But I'm so grateful God preserved my life because in 2012 I attempted suicide. And I probably died.
I didn't want to bring it up because
I bring it up
I remember
because
during the year when you came down, when we sat down and we had, it was your birthday.
yes,
I
my date.
remember, yes, a date. We had a birth date, and we had it at, what's the name of that place? That Russian place. Um, Gosh,
I
it's
don't
not
remember.
Heritage. I can't remember
Brought
the
me
name.
somewhere.
And we had
But
like
it was in
the really good. And we spoke and we sat and we spoke for like hours. We were there from like 7 to almost when they almost kick us out.
because yes,
And you shared that with me. Why had you gotten so down? Like, what was going on?
there's more to the life of Tarina that a lot of people don't know and be aware of. You know, Tarina is a child at that time, and again to no fault of anyone. I speak my story not to belittle anybody, not to shame anyone, but I was empty. I had emptiness. I experienced trauma as a child and walked through that thing, not having anywhere to have an outlet. And then man's story, you end up in relationships, you put yourself in relationships, you experience heartbreak, you experience trauma, and you're seeing all of these external things happening, but internally there's no joy. You're not happy. And you're like, there must be more to life outside of the accolades, outside of the rewards, the awards, outside of all of this, there must be more to life. And I'm like, I know God. I've experienced God as a child. I've seen his hand in my life, in my own intimate relationship with him. But then I forgot it. I forgot my intimacy with him or talk. And I got to that point where I lost hope, JL. I lost hope. At that time, I had a really bad academic experience, and just thinking back on so many things, I felt like I was a failure. That was when the enemy came and spoke to me and was like, "Look at you, you failing at everything, not seeing the victories, but only seeing the failures." I lost hope. I lost hope, and then I remembered, you know, I attempted suicide. For details I won't discuss. Not want to give anybody any ideas on how to do anything. But I remember I sat in my tub in my apartment. I texted my mom, and I told her whatever I said to her. I don't remember. Maybe she can talk about that. And at that point, I gave up hope, jail. Things around me was dark. Yes, life, all these lights, all these cameras, all these actions, but inside. And so many people are like that. We're walking around with our smiles on our face, makeup on our cheeks, our hair done, for the guys, we faded, but we're dying inside. And I guess, I got away from all of the limelight and everything. And so I had that time to sit alone, and reality of hopelessness hit me. But I encountered God. I experienced God. My experience is not everyone's experience. But I sat in that tub and my body feeling limp. And I just was like, okay, you know what? That's it. I'm done. Never spoke this before. I'm done. I'm done. That's it. What's the point of living? And I closed my eyes. I closed my eyes. And when I opened my eyes, it was almost like reality hit. And I said, oh my God, what did I just do? What did Tarina Simon just do? And I remember crying out, God, if you can deliver me from this, which I have put myself in, I will serve you for the rest of my life. And I remember hearing this song in my head by Donnie McClurkin. Tell me what to do when you've done all you can. Feel like you can't make it through. Child, you just stand. Watch the Lord see you through. You just stand. I remember that song resonating in my ears because my mom would always play that album. That was one of our first CDs we had. And that song echoed in my heart and in my head. And it's almost like I was hearing, angels singing over me. And I just remember crying out, tears rolling on my eyes. And I can't move myself out of my tub. And I said, God, if you can get me through this, I promise I will serve you for the rest of my life. And I don't know how, but I got up, got to my bed, and I was probably asleep for 3 days. And in those 3 days, I got up the third day to the knock of someone on my door because I had texted someone at that time. And the person said they were knocking for 3 days. That's how I knew I was out for 3 days. They were knocking for 3 days. There was no response. And then they came, and when I finally got strength to get up, I went to the door. I opened the door, and he said, "What's going on? Why wasn't I hearing from you?" I said, I pretended I was drinking. I said, no, I was just having a few drinks. I was probably knocked out. And he said, okay, but he had a dog, so he left the dog with me. I said, We're gonna get some food and whatever. He said, did you eat? Whatever. Fast forward. I still did not serve God actively after that. Because that was in 2012. 2012, 13, 14, 15, 16, 4 years later. Here I go again, that feeling of emptiness. I finished my degree, got a job, worked, was about to go get another job in Austin. And I'm just like, there's more to life. And I can't leave. Not yet. I disappointed that friend and I said, I need God. And I was reminded of that conversation a little bit later down in 2016, but it was about August. Because
Mhm.
I was graduated and about August we were about to leave. And when I got home, I sat down and I said, God, if you want me to stay here, let me get a job. The next day I got a job and I said, okay, that's it. I'm going to find you. The word of God said, if you seek me, you will find me. I told God I'm going to find you. Where I need help. I need a church. And honestly, I stepped away from church because of a bad experience I had when I was younger. Church, as in church gathering, the aggregation of people of like mind. I stepped away because of a bad experience I had.
Yeah, we
Because
spoke
of that, I
about
said,
that. We spoke about
spoke
that.
about
Yeah, and I think it's not only you. A lot of us young people have
a lot of,
moved from church
yeah.
because of a bad experience.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And um, I I I I decided I need a place because I need some guidance. I recognize that need first of all, and I purposed in my heart. I don't care what experience I had. I need to find a ministry to help guide me. And so I had visited a few churches because that's a 3 week process. I started my job, I visited a few ministries in the area, and I said something is missing. I can't. I know nothing against the ministry. And then one day God used an unbeliever, real good friend of mine at the time. And she was like, boy, see, I think I need someone God in my life. Let's go to church now. I said, that's it. I knew it was God using her to direct me. And then I said, okay, where are we going? And then she said, I'm not really into church and all of that, but there's this little church, nice, quaint little church. I think we can go there because they actually teach from the Bible. She was talking and she's like, there are times when I go there, like I feel like, but me, I'm not ready for that life. She was on, but at that time she felt she needed God, and hey, it was my fleece. I was asking because I knew what I asked God for. I said, God, give me a guy, direct me, and He sent me a fleece through her, and we went to church, small church. I'm a musical person, and I'm like, man, okay, at the time, I'm like, okay, this is new, this is different, um, and then I heard the word of God being taught. And I am like, okay, I went to church. I don't fall asleep. Normally, I would sleep if I go to church. I didn't fall asleep. And I felt a burn in my heart. And in scripture, it says, the disciples knew that it was Jesus that was walking with them because their heart did burn. And it was after He revealed Himself to them, He disappeared. I said, at that time, I didn't know that, of course. As I walked, I realized, okay, it was, God speaking to my heart that, okay, this might be where you need to be. And so I said, okay, I'm gonna give it a try. It's different, it's small, it's not big like the other big churches that I had gone to, but it's intimate enough that I can reach the pastor, I can ask him questions, I can talk to the first lady. It's intimate enough that I can ask, the people around. If I have questions, I can ask them. And so I Chante Richman.
Yes,
Sorry,
Chantel.
I come and so um I heard the word of God. I heard about Jesus. And the first thing I heard was God is not mad at me. Huh? So you mean to tell me what I did last night, you mean the party I went to last night? if I come to church, He not mad at me? You mean God loves me so much that He gave His only begotten Son so that if I just believe, I can have life in this earth and life everlasting? I want that. I made up my mind that that day, all or nothing. I remember saying all or nothing. And so I was like, okay, what programs do you all have? They had a Bible study at the time. They were studying the Ark of Covenant, and walking through the Ark and what the different parts mean, and how it shows Jesus and reflects Jesus and stuff like that. And I'm like, okay, I have my Bible, my Bible my mom bought me, my TD Jakes Bible that was on Psalms 23 on my table all the time. I guess I have to dust it off and start reading it now. And I began that journey. And I recall I was going to church at that time. I hadn't, fully yielded my life. And I say, I feel like I really want to know if this is God, if it's just me just going for a phase. And so around that time, in the area I live in, college students, we're always having parties. And so I said, I'm going to go to a party. And based on how I feel, after that day, I'll make that decision. I'm never going back. I went to that party. Now I would go for my power hour, 1 hour where the party high. You can get a good dance in. You can a good fuel. I decided at that point is where I am going to make my entrance, my grand entrance, because that was when I narrowed it down to. I went, I went in there and I felt so out of place. Me that would always go party and enjoy myself and shake a little leg here and there. I felt out of place. For the first time, I felt convicted. I felt like this wasn't where I needed to be. No qualms to anyone else that was there. That was me. And I remember when I walked away from the party, I didn't even stay 20 minutes. I walked away, and as I was walking, endeavoring towards my apartment, I did not look back, and I said, "That's it. That's it. I've made up my mind.
Lashonda
All
say
or
you
nothing."
lose taste.
What you say?
She say you lose taste.
I lost it. Wipe out from my tongue. I lost. I literally did. I lost taste for that type of life. Um, because I discovered the way, the truth, and the life. And I walked away, and I decided that was it. Now it's one thing for me to say, okay, I'm going to church because my mom made me or whatever, but I made that decision that that was it. I have seen the hand of God in my life, and now my perspective started to change because I started to see, I hope started to enter my heart. I started to hear things, and I would study for myself, open my Bible, and I would have questions. I remember my pastor would be like, how did you end up there? I would have questions. And he was always so noble and always so, he didn't disregard my questions as foolish. He would always say, okay, study again and let's discuss. And I would be open to listen to me. And that was something I had not experienced before. The love of God. I had not experienced it in the church setting. And so it was at that point I said, okay, I think I found my place. So then I asked, okay, how can I serve? Because if you love something, you want to serve it, right? I'm like, okay, how can I serve? And it wasn't necessarily the place, but I found my well. The woman who met Jesus at the well. She encountered Jesus, and I'm like, okay, wow, I need to tell everybody about this. I need to tell everybody about this Jesus I've encountered at this place. I need to tell, my heart became full of joy. I was overwhelmed by the love of God. And of course, I continue to walk and grow. And of course, I made immature decisions and made mistakes along the way. But at the end of the day, the love of God is what kept bouncing me back to Him. The love of God for me, because at that point, I started to grow in understanding that God isn't mad at me, first of all. He loved me too much that He Himself came into this earth, died for me, the place that I should have taken, so that I could go free. I could be whole, free of disease, free of sickness, free of confusion, free of calamity. Yes, I'm in the world. I will experience the storms and the waves that occur in this terra firma. But my true life is hidden Christ in God. And that was it for me. That was it for me. I found my place, I found my niche, I found God, and I found Jesus. Because prior to that, I had Muslim friends, you know, I would try, fasting, but not as a Muslim, like crazy stuff, I tell you. But at the end of the day, it was all pushing me in the direction of where I believe I am today, which is the right path for me. And of course, with life, things change. You develop in different ways and so forth. And I am so grateful that I sought after more, and I found the greatest of all. I found the creator of the universe. I found my father. I found the one, my mother. I found my true love. I found my peace. I found my joy. I found the answer to the questions that I had in my heart. I found the rest. And I said, okay, this is beyond just going to a church for me. This is now a relationship with my Savior, with the one who paid for my life. In other words, I have 100 full percent access to eternal life in Christ Jesus. He paid the price for me. And I didn't want to do injustice. I'm taking it. When you get a shopping spree, you have a shopping spree, you're not gonna be like, oh, let me just yeah, I'll just take this and let me leave, change on the shopping spree. No,
You take
he
everything.
gave life, paid off, debt free, you owe no more to the world. And now you just need to learn the clauses and like I was a brand ambassador once for Lubia Spring Water. And so as a brand ambassador, I had to understand that there were limitations with what I could and couldn't do, you know.
Mhm,
You couldn't represent other brands, or you could, some stuff like that.
mhm.
So I was like, okay, now I'm a kingdom ambassador. I'm an ambassador for the King of Kings, Lord of Lords, and now I need to understand the blueprint. I need to understand the little the fine print. I need to understand who I am now in Christ Jesus. And that takes time, it takes you studying, and God is patient enough to progressively work with you because of his love for you.
So Tarina, you pretty much went to school for ministry.
Yes, I just graduated in May of this year with my Master of Ministry. I mean, I was that passionate. I am that passionate about this life, this kind of life that I have discovered. There is other forms of life, but I've
Mhm.
discovered the life of all
What
life.
does what
And
does that entail? What does that entail? Being a master of
I mean,
ministry. What
a Master of
exactly?
Ministry.
Yes.
Basically, you go to school and you get to understand, for example, let me see how break it down very simple. You get to understand how the religions across, you get to understand the religions across different nations. You get to understand different cultures and cultural appropriations, because I did an international culture course. You get to do leadership, so that you can know how to properly handle people, and not to mishandle people, because I mean, I've experienced mishandling myself. Um, and maybe I've even done some mishandling, because as a leader, I'm human, I make mistakes. And you do the right thing when you make a mistake. You repent, have a change of mind, change of attitude, change of purpose. And so you get to learn how to be a leader. You get to even assess some of your own self, because one of my courses, you had to do an assessment of your own self to understand your life and your purpose, why it is that you're doing what you're doing. You get to understand the theology of of God Himself. You get to understand. Um, I mean, it's not necessarily a theology degree, which is
Okay.
different. It's not a seminary degree. In other words, I don't get trained in um I want to be careful with in the doctrine
Mhm.
of things, but it's a wider scope. You get to understand different religions, so you know how to respect other people's vantage point. I remember
Yeah.
one of my projects I chose to study Rastafarianism. That was fun because I was the only, you know, person who's ever done that particular religion for my course. Um, you
It's
get
funny.
to
Funny you say that. It's funny you say that because I just completed a few months ago a thesis paper on Rastafarianism. So
oh,
like so
this
it's so
paper,
I know, like we should exchange. I'll send you
yeah,
mine and you'll send me yours.
and
So,
yeah,
so
send
I
you
could,
mine.
but I mean we've had the discussions on religion, how we see religion, the two of us, and how we view Christianity, and you've given your opinion. And one of the things that you always find in religion is this argumentative. You always want to defend, like people always want to defend where
They call it up.
right. So they all there's this thing that goes on where people, and I am not about that life. Like, and I've expressed to you how how I see God and the universe and Jesus. I've expressed that to you, and it was hearing you talk your story. You know, it's different when people talk bits and pieces of their story along their lifeline, and
Mhm.
say it in one go, and then you realize, oh, when we were speaking, that's why she was so attentive. It's because she understood where I was coming from, and you were not trying to argue with me about Christianity or different religions, or because again, my I did a lot of study in African studies, as well as Caribbean studies, as well as Black history, and a lot of that, I've come to understand my place and how I see religion and how I see people and how I see, and I don't flack anyone for their acceptance or their choices, whether you're Roman Catholic, whether you choose Islam, whether you choose Buddhism, whether you choose whatever you decide to choose to that you call. And we had this discussion, even today, where I was sharing with you, I look at certain things a certain way, and at the end of the day, one of the things that you always talk about is love. At the end of the day, I always feel you cannot flack people for their choices of religion, because a lot of it has to do with their history, their the demographic that they live in, what they were brought up around, what they know, their culture, their language. Like, you cannot really flag people, and you were so attentive, and I know you studied ministry, but you breaking it down now, I understand that the reason why you were so attentive and to what I was saying is because you've studied those, and you understand how people are not always going to agree, but there has to be a way that you can guide, or but still listen, but still be very attentive. So I mean, I really truly appreciate you coming on, because right now you have launched your ministry. I mean, full blown. When I say full blown, you were always doing your ministry throughout, but you've launched full blown. For folks who are not sure, they can go and they can follow Tarina Simon Ministries on Facebook. I encourage you to go on the page, follow. Tarina, give me the thing again, and I just want to put it down so people can get it, because people might want to go on. So it's Tarina Simon Ministries, right?
Tarina S. Simon Ministries.
Okay. There's the S dot. Okay. So I'm gonna put it on there. If you feel that this is something that you want to get more of. Tarina does devotion. She does morning, and I know my sisters follow. I know Carrie Breedy out of Port. So I know people who follow. I'm not a one who goes on there regularly, but every now and again I catch your stuff. and you always, I mean, you've always been my doodle darling, you're my love, and I will always, show support to you in whatever you do. And I encourage folks to go and like your page. You can go
Mhm.
after, you can leave now and go like it and come back. Like the page, follow the page, turn on the notification when she comes on, so you can know if that is something that you want to, because I appreciate when people don't come and talk religion in my head. Like, don't come and talk religion in my head. I was born in church. You cannot, there's no memory verse you can speak that I don't know. Right? So I always tell people, when you come correct, because I will not sit down and argue with you, because I have my views on how I see things. And one of the things that you brought on that I saw a lot of people commenting about is how people get hurt in church, and how church hurt is the worst kind of hurt, because people, unfortunately, some people don't know how to deal with certain people, and they react to you in a way, and their reaction tends to it tends to destroy everything you believe. Like, literally, it shatters everything you believed in previously, everything, and how you view people, and how you appreciate people, and how you it just shatters everything. And for some,
Can
there's no turning
I speak
back.
a bit?
Hmm?
Can I speak into the church hurt segment just a little,
Go
just
ahead.
briefly?
Go ahead. Yes, look, Nisha is saying the same thing. A lot of folks are talking, about church hurt,
A lot of, yeah. And so that's where we have to now go back to, why are we going to church? Are we going to church, to serve other people, or are we going to church to get to know God for ourselves? Relationship with God is very important. It is important that you study for yourself, to show yourself approved. Your pastor, your leaders, they are there to help guide you. They are there to help navigate and direct you. And of course, by the fault of humanity, we make mistakes. And that was one thing I had to learn to forgive. And that's how I was able to be resolved, because I asked God to help me to forgive. And one of the ways He explained it to me was like this: when you go to college, you have juniors, I'm freshmen, juniors, sophomores, seniors. Each person at different levels in their faith, right? And so He showed it to me as a college experience. And if we only understand that, okay, if someone who is a senior, who has had more experience, has gone through the years of training and, reforming of their mind, if our seniors and juniors and those in between at different levels will just understand that we are all in school. We're in the school of life, firstly. We're all trying to figure it out. We all need the help of the Holy Spirit to understand and to navigate this life. And so if we all approach that from, we approach our perspective from that understanding that, hey, my leader can make mistakes, I make mistakes, and they're patient with me all the time. Like, if we come from that, as we spoke about God's love, we speak of God's love and we really apply God's love both ways, I think we would move quickly in recovering from church. And remember, ultimately, if you go to a hospital, it's because you need help. The church is basically a hospital for broken people, and broken people come there to be healed. Do we all get it right? No. Doctors make mistakes even in the hospital. Patients lose their lives in hospital, the place where you're supposed to be healed. But why can't we give the same grace? And I'm saying it because now I'm on the other side. And so I can understand that my leader at the time, he didn't mean me ill. It could have been he had a bad day. It could have been he had some secondary issues outside of me. It could have been a lapse on his part. And that is where, when we truly allow ourselves to be planted, not in a church for the sake of checking a box, like, okay, I went to church this Sunday, I went to church that Sunday, but so that we are interested in getting to know this one person who did everything for us. Jesus died. He died. Like, we killed him. So at the end of the day, persecution will come even sometimes from the church. Even sometimes from the church. And so when we have that mindset that I'm doing this not because only because I want to, not I want to check a box and say I attended church, or I went to church, or I did this, or I did that. But we're doing it because we really want to know God intimately and build relationship with God. Then our relationship with people become better.
Well, guys, Tarina,
My
Simon.
dad, Jael Joseph.
You heard it. I want to give you guys an opportunity to share with her how you feel about her interview today. I'm gonna open the chat right in the box, and you can leave your hearts. You can say hi. You can tell her you were there from the start. It's your opportunity to share with Tarina. We have not seen her. A lot of us Dominicans have not seen her in quite some time, and I know people are probably wondering, that's not all that Tarina Ali. Where is Tarina? And I am so honored to have her on here with me this evening. Share your hearts, share your thank yous, to let her know how some people I know she's touched, because let me tell you, if you see my phone has been blowing up. Like my phone has been blowing up throughout.
I
I've been,
believe.
and messaging me directly, because of course some people feel that they may not want to message on the chat. But let us know, how you're feeling, and I want to just say thank you very much to you, Tarina. I encourage folks to follow you on your platform, to share.
Shirley, the audio went out on your side. Can everyone hear me though? You can hear me, Shirley? Oh, you can hear me. Okay. All right. I wonder if they can hear me. Okay. All right. I don't know if the people on the outside can hear me as well, but on the outside they say they can't hear you, Shirley. Okay, so they say they can hear me, but they can't hear you. Okay. So you want me to close out for you, Shirley? Go ahead. Awesome. Well, to everyone on here, I am so sorry. We apologize. JL and myself, we apologize for the technical difficulties. But at this point, I just want to encourage everyone that no matter what you are facing, no matter what circumstance, no matter what you may have done, God loves you. He is not mad at you. Everything he did was in his power. He laid down himself so that you could obtain life and that eternal. And so I just want to say what an opportunity, a privilege to be here with Shelley, a privilege to just share my story and my testimony, as we say in our lingo, my testimony. And so I really just want you all to be encouraged that God can take your story and use it to be a blessing to many others. So don't be ashamed of what you may have gone through. In everything, give thanks. In everything, pray and give God, and above all, build your own relationship with God for yourself. For yourself. In the end, each man has to give an account for his soul. Yes, in this earth, natural terra firma, we may experience wins and losses, but the ultimate victory is after this.
Are
After
you
this.
hearing me now? You hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you. Yay, you're back.
Yes. Well, it was divine intervention. I call this. You said a lot of wonderful things, and I know a lot of people have been touched by you, Tarina. And I want to continue to encourage you to do what you do to the best of you, and I love you, always will, always do. You're my doodle darling, and we all will always be in touch. We will
Yes,
always stay connected. And your mom always reaches out every now and again. I want to shout her out for creating such a wonderful specimen of a woman. We cannot say thanks to you without saying thanks to her. And I just want to say thank you very much, for giving me the opportunity to share your story. I think you have an amazing story. A lot of people will touch. I know a lot of people. Some people will say it's onions that in their eyes. Who got in onions? Because they were crying. Who got in onions? People were touched.
you
People
know,
were blessed.
honestly.
And I truly appreciate you for coming on
Yeah,
here, Kakuti, and I want to thank my sister for the suggestion. She's like, you need to have Tarina on, and big
which
up
one?
to Aurel. Yes,
Orel,
yes,
oh, Orel will
yes,
talk on me back, okay?
yes, yes, and thank you, Tarina, for coming on and sharing your story and touching the lives of people. The little girl continues to do wonders.
Will always be good.
I love you, Tarina.
I love you. Thank you so much, JL. I pray blessings upon your show and upon your audience. In Jesus' name. Amen. Love you.
I love you. That's it. That's it. It's a wrap. It's a wrap. Those of you who cried with me, and I mean, yes, let me tell you, it was lovely. I want to say thank you very much to all of you. If you did not remember throughout the show, please, you have an opportunity to win a 3-day Prime bundle from Digicel. If you hashtag play go, want to say big up to every single one of you that came on and showed your love and showed your support to not only me, but also to Tarina. Thank you very much for your support. We truly appreciate you. We'll be back next week, Saturday. We're starting the first episode out of 3 episodes on food security and ways in which young people are diversifying and making money with food. And I'm excited. Everybody, I think, is under is young. Young people, I tell you, young people. Amazingly wonderful young people. And I'm so excited to bring them to you from September 11th. If you have not followed yet, what are you waiting for? Follow, share, like, subscribe, follow on YouTube, turn on the notifications, do what you have to do to ensure that you know every single time when I come live. Until next week, love you all. Bye bye.